What's up, you guys? It's me, Kevin. So a client of mine introduced me to the fact that Facebook might be introducing a cryptocurrency called the Libra. And I thought, well, why not make a video about it and at the same time have the disclosure that Facebook, please don't sue me, bro. Now, from the hours and hours of research that I've done, I can tell it's going to be pretty different from Bitcoin, but it's not going to be anywhere near a BitConnect. It does seem very likely, though, that this Facebook currency will actually change the way we buy things, use credit cards, and might even affect real estate values in certain areas, at least based on my research. So let's get into the video and see what this is all about. Now, just a quick note, if you want to learn more about real estate, come to one of my 13 events where you can meet me in person. And if you don't want to travel, I don't blame you. That's totally fine. You can meet me online in the real estate investing course or the real estate agent course, where you get some awesome private lectures and you get to meet me 4 times a week in our private live streams. Stay tuned for the end of the video for a special coupon code for those. Now let's get into the topic. Within the next 10 days, I expect the Libra to officially be announced by Facebook. They've quietly been gathering investments of upwards of $1 billion to fund this secret project. Now, one of the ways the Libra is supposed to be different from Bitcoin is that it's actually supposed to be what's known as a stable coin. And I think that's just a fancy way of saying that ain't gonna go from $19 to $20,000 real fast and then right back down real fast. Instead, it seems more likely that Facebook is going to try to keep the value of the Libra at something close to, or at least in line with, what the dollar's value is, or maybe the pound or the Canadian dollar, or another mix of currencies. See, I don't actually expect Facebook to be interested in creating any kind of speculative investment for a lot of people to lose a lot of money on and some people to get really rich on. Instead, I have more of an expectation that Facebook is trying to get into the game of taking money away from credit card companies and competing with innovators like Amazon and Apple. See, we already know that Apple has announced an Apple credit card. We know there's Apple Pay, we know there's Amazon Pay, and I think the big reason a lot of companies try to get into the credit card space is because credit cards are very expensive. That is, there are a lot of fees in using them, and when you take control of the payment system, you can remove a lot of fees and make things cheaper to buy. That's kind of like why when you go to Lowe's and you use a Lowe's credit card, you get 5% off, or you go to Macy's or Target or Amazon, you get that 5% back. It's probably going to be much the same with Facebook, except Facebook wants to take it a step further and let their actual money that they're creating be accepted through Libra terminals throughout stores throughout the country. So it'd kind of be like you go into a store and then you see the credit card terminal and then you see the Facebook Libra terminal. It's like, oh, I'll pay with Libra and save 2 or 5% or whatever, except now it's almost in every store. That is at least the speculation. Now, what's also quite interesting is Facebook is playing this pretty smart. See, you would think that that would be in big competition to like PayPal and Venmo, but Facebook has partnered with PayPal and Venmo. See, to me, I think this isn't necessarily a play for Facebook to make a massive amount of money by collecting processing fees. I think the play is cut out the middleman, become the processing system that everybody uses, even if you have to do it at a break even, and now all of a sudden, guess what you're doing every day? More than you probably already are. Use logging back onto Facebook, stalking all those people you shouldn't be stalking and snooping around into other people's lives, making yourself feel bad like you got yourself a crappy life, even though you probably got a totally normal life, but it makes you feel like you got a crappy life. Now, what about real estate and who's actually going to end up using the Libra? Well, if the Libra ends up being tied to the value of, let's say, the European Union's euro, the American dollar, the British pound, then the Libra would be tied to relatively low inflation currencies, which means they don't lose their value very quickly. In fact, they kind of hold their value longer. This is much unlike a lot of developing countries, especially in South America and Africa. For example, Argentina has an inflation rate of over 55%, and Zimbabwe has an inflation rate of over 78%. That's compared to like 2% in America and like 1.2% in Europe. It's dramatically different. But none of it holds a candle to the inflation rate in Venezuela, where in April the inflation rate was, yes, this is what it was, 1.3 million%. Now, just to put that into perspective, that's like being able to afford 20 avocado toasts with $100 in the morning, and by 5 o'clock, you could barely afford one avocado toast, and by the next day, you're bankrupt. That is, a lot of the people in these countries with high inflation would probably want to earn money and then really quickly convert it to Libras so it stays safe and doesn't lose value every minute. And so that's, I think, where it might actually start hurting real estate values in certain areas. See, we have a lot of foreign money that comes from China, South American countries, and other parts of the world that are trying to escape higher inflation areas to invest in luxury markets or even regular markets spread out through the United States and Canada, like Toronto, San Francisco, Miami, Tampa. A lot of these areas are seeing a lot of investment from these countries. And you're getting people that are just buying real estate not because they want cash flow, not because they want a rental, they just literally want to park their money into something they believe in. That is, they don't believe in their own country's money. They'd rather believe in real estate markets in the United States. Well, if Facebook gives people the opportunity to open up Facebook Messenger and see their account balances and make bookings and buy stuff right through Facebook, much like WeChat is doing and trying to do in China, then, well, people might be less anxious to invest in real estate right away and might just park their money in the Libra instead, and at the same time, watch some more stuff on Facebook, which we know Facebook is really trying to push their live platform, so maybe that is a play. While people are shopping, why don't you start watching some more Facebook TV? Now, there are a few more things to mention. One thing is, yes, this above me is a rocket ship. My son Jack made that and he's 3. Now, the other thing to mention is Facebook wants to take advantage of the blockchain technology, mostly to reduce fraud, which is a smart move if they do indeed use the full-on blockchain technology. Now, in case you don't know what that means, that's okay. I don't fully understand it either, but let me try to give you a very brief rundown. Basically, think about it this way. Every time you swipe your credit card, a transaction gets processed by single companies that could end up getting hacked, and that's how fraud ends up happening, is these single points of failure exist. Well, the blockchain is kind of like this ledger or long list, except this list, or all the lists of transactions that happen at the same time or around the same block of time, I think it's like a 10-minute span, that list is duplicated or re-verified in like sometimes dozens or hundreds of different nodes around the world. And basically, this all gets reconciled, and as long as everything matches up, it all goes into the blockchain and you got yourself a forever sealed record. And so that makes fraud and hacking data very difficult because it's all duplicated in different parts around the world and verified at the time of each transaction. Now look, I could have butchered that definition, but that's what I got for you. Now, the other thing that's very interesting about this is because it's without a doubt going to be another cashless currency, it's going to be something where the government might want to try to snoop into this data. Think about how much money the government would save if they didn't actually have to ask you to audit your tax returns. That is, yo, meet Kevin, I want to see all the stuff you're writing off. I want to see what you're actually spending money on. Instead of them actually asking me for that, they could, in theory, if they got access to the data, just look at the data of what I'm spending money on with a virtual currency, which is kind of scary, you know, like don't tread on me, don't sue me, bro, kind of stuff, you know, but hey, who knows? I mean, what indicator is there that the government even cares about this Facebook cryptocurrency anyway? There certainly wouldn't be anything like this. A letter from the Senate Banking Committee to Mark Zuckerberg asking specifically about the Facebook cryptocurrency. Now, one more thing, it sounds like Facebook is probably going to create a separate company to manage the Libra and make sure the currency is in check the way they want it to be, which is probably a good thing for not only privacy concerns, but overall, I just don't see Facebook really caring about the day-to-day regulation of this currency. I really just think they want more Facebook in your face, and this might be a really good way to make that happen. So I'm interested to see what happens, but I'm also interested to see what you think, so make sure to leave a comment below. I did promise you a coupon code if you made it this far, so here it comes. There's going to be an 18% off coupon for the real estate investing and the real estate agent course. Remember, that comes with all of the lectures and the live streams. You get all of that, and I update the material regularly. It's 18% off. You're going to use coupon code GPStefan. Yeah, that's for Graham Stefan. That's actually because it was his idea to pitch this coupon code in a video that is coming out next week on a Detroit home tour session that we did. A really epic video. Can't wait to release it. So make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm super excited to show you everything I learned about Detroit. And it's gonna be a pretty interesting video. So stay tuned. Follow me on the Instagram @MeKevin, and thank you so much.